All right, well, as John said, my name is Thulin. I'm a civil engineer with Nebraska Public Power and Irrigation District, and I'm going to give you the water supply update. This is an outline of what I want to talk about today. We're going to start by looking at a basic basin map. Every year I talk about the North Platte Basin, the South Platte Basin, but I just want to make sure everyone's familiar with where those basins are. Then we'll move to the North Platte Basin. We'll look at snowpack and reservoir conditions in that basin. Then the South Platte Basin, same thing, snowpack and reservoir conditions. And we'll finish by looking at Lake McConaughey, inflows and storage. So this is a map of the North Platte, South Platte, and Central Platte basins. As you can see, the main area of the North Platte Basin is in Wyoming, with a small area extending down into Colorado. And the main area of the South Platte Basin is in Colorado, with a small section extending up into Wyoming. And then, of course, both extending into Nebraska, down to where the North Platte and South Platte rivers meet. At that point, the North Platte and South Platte basins end, and the Central Platte Basin begins. We can only store water in Lake McConaughey from the North Platte River Basin, but any water that flows down the South Platte River, we're able to divert at our diversion dam, and helps reduce the amount of water we have to release from Lake McConaughey. So we'll start by looking at the North Platte Basin. That large red outlined area there is the North Platte Basin. And this is a map of the snowpack in Wyoming. So if we look, the upper North Platte Basin is currently 109% of normal snowpack. The Laramie is 108% of normal snowpack. Sweetwater is 98% of normal, and the lower North Platte is 80% of normal snowpack. If you look down there in the bottom right-hand corner, that's the small portion of the South Platte Basin that extends into Wyoming, and that snowpack is currently 60% of normal. This is just another way to look at snowpack. Again, this is a snowpack in the North Platte Basin in Wyoming. On this graph, the green line is the median snowpack. That top blue line is the max snowpack. The bottom red line is the minimum. The pink line is last year's snowpack, and the black line is this year. So you can see this year we're well above where we were last year with snowpack, and above median, approximately 108% of median currently. However, what we're really concerned with is where this snowpack peaks through the season. It typically peaks in mid-April. A lot can happen between now and mid-April. You can stop snowing and this thing goes sideways, or it can start snowing a lot and this thing can take off. So what we're really concerned about is that mid-April time frame. This is a teacup diagram of all the reservoirs in Wyoming on the North Platte system. Those red circled numbers are the amount of water to fill each one of those reservoirs. Approximately 730,000 acre feet to fill Seminole, 420,000 acre feet to fill Pathfinder, and another 242,000 acre feet to fill Glendo. If we total those all up, it's about 1.4 million acre feet to fill those three large reservoirs. And the 30-year average total system inflow into the North Platte system is about 1.3 million acre feet. So you look at those two numbers, they're close. You might be thinking, well, those reservoirs are going to fill. However, those reservoirs will be releasing water as that water comes in. So this time, the spill is unlikely from the North Platte reservoirs. This is a screenshot of a report showing North Platte reservoir storage conditions. We look at the right two columns here, which are current storage as percent of median, and last year's storage as percent of median. I will start by looking at the upper North Platte. Current storage is 80% of median, and last year's storage was 104% of median. Move down to Laramie. Current storage is 73% of median. Last year was 111%. And finally, the lower North Platte, current is 99% of median, and last year was 115% of median. So you see there's less water in those reservoirs than there was a year ago, and less water than there normally is for this time of year. There's approximately 360,000 acre feet less water in storage than there was 1 year ago. Now we'll talk about the South Platte Basin. This is a graph showing the snowpack in the South Platte Basin in Colorado. On this graph, the two red lines are the average and median snowpack. The light blue line is last year's snowpack, and that dark blue black line is this year's snowpack. Same story in the South Platte Basin, well above last year's snowpack, and above average for this time of year, currently 114% of normal. Again, what we're worried about is where this peaks for the season. And we've still got a few months to go to get there. This is just a map of Colorado showing snowpack by basins. That large red outlined area is the South Platte Basin. Shows the same thing, 114% of normal snowpack. The small outlined area to the left of that is the North Platte Basin that extends into Colorado, and it's currently 117% normal. This is a screenshot of that same report you saw before. This showing all the reservoirs in the South Platte Basin in Colorado. Again, we'll look at those last two columns. Current storage 101% median, and last year was only 82% median. So in Colorado, there's actually more water in the reservoirs than there was a year ago, but just about a normal amount for this time of year. Now we'll look at Lake McConaughey. This is a graph of Lake McConaughey inflows. The black line you see there is the average inflows from 2007 to 2021. That red line is last year's inflows. You can see, with the exception of just a few days, we were below average for the entire water year last year, and actually got really low here in the summer months, down to the 300-400 range. And that blue line is this year's inflow so far. So you can see here that we've been below average every single day this water year, and even below where we were last year so far. This is a graph of Lake McConaughey elevations going back to August of 2012. You can see where we were really low in 2013, rebounded to full. We stayed pretty full from 2015 through 2019. And then in 2020, we had a 20-foot drawdown during irrigation season. You can see how we recovered about 10 feet. Then last year, we had another 15-foot drawdown. And then you can see where we recovered to today, about 64.6% full. So some takeaways from today: North Platte Basin, above average snowpack, but below average reservoir storage. The spill from Wyoming is unlikely. South Platte Basin, we have above average snowpack and about average reservoir storage. And then Lake McConaughey has been well below average inflows so far this year. And we're 64.6% capacity today. All I have. Is any questions?
Yeah, two of them.
Okay.
First one talking about Lake McConaughey. They had to draw down for the morning glory there. That affect these numbers how much?
We didn't intentionally draw down for that. We were going to if we needed to, but we
I
didn't.
went and saw them way down below floor so they could reach the paint.
Yeah, we had talked about that, but we didn't need to. We reduced the season last year. We were down far enough.
Second question is, we heard it, the governor talking about South Platte Basin, what Colorado sounds like they want to start storing more there or something, affecting our South Platte flow. What would that affect, you think?
That would obviously reduce our non-irrigation season flows into the state, and that would require us then to release more water from Lake McConaughey to meet our diversion requirements. Yeah, he asked, what effect would it have if Colorado started, putting more of these projects in on the South Platte and reducing, our flows, by storing more water in Colorado.
Any other questions for Tyler? Yep.
How about the lawsuit that Reagan is proposing? What do you think of that?
You know as much, if you've heard about it, you know as much about it as I do. Maybe Devin later on today will be able to answer those questions better. Yeah. You know, I don't think so, because they would have just stored that water in the lower reservoirs. So they don't have any less total storage in those reservoirs, they just moved it from upstream to downstream. You can see from the low inflows last summer that they didn't send it down to us.
So,
You have a chart on the historic excess flows on the Platte and how it's gonna affect it for here?
I don't in this presentation, that's probably something we can put together, but I don't have that right now.
How's the Republican organization?
I don't pay attention to the Republican Basin. I'm gonna tell you, maybe,
we'll get you that this afternoon, Gail. We'll have people who do pay attention to the program.
any other questions?
Thank you, Tyler.
Yep.